I spent 5 years without missing a single workout, 365 days a year, and every day I was in the water. Some days you won't want to do it. I mean, everyone has those days, but it's what you do with it that helps you move on. Everyone has the potential to win. Everyone wants the ultimate result, but no one wants to discuss what you have to go through to win. If you believe you are destined for something, you can overcome failures, hardships, widespread criticism, and other obstacles. Everyone can compete when they're feeling well, happy, and eager, but it's the best people who can overcome fatigue and soreness. The greatest athletes have the mental strength to push all of the discomfort aside. I first met Stephen Curry in 2007, his freshman year at Davidson. No one recognized Stephen Curry after his first year, which was before he blew out. But I recall a few things that struck me as really amazing about him. But the most impressive thing was that at the end of the first exercise, he approached me and asked, "Will you rebound for me? I don't leave the gym until I've eaten 5 Fritos in a row." I mean, he was training himself to be in that situation. He was training himself to do that and accept nothing less. And one of the reasons I believe he will go down in history as the best shooter we have ever seen. You may be shy, but at the heart of it lies a desire to excel. You enjoy competition and strive to dominate. The top athletes in the world make no excuses. I wanted to do something no one had ever done before, which began with a dream and a goal. I aspire to be the greatest of all time, and I think I've always wanted to be good at everything I did and great at everything I did, but I never expected to be this good. Whatever you do in life, no matter where you are, this is what winning requires. And it exists in all of us. We all have fear, but harnessing it may lead you to places you never imagined. There are mistakes and regrets. There's despair, joy, irritation, sorrow, heartbreak, and elation. It is all part of it. It is all part of life. You know, I told myself, I'm going to do this and no one will stop me. I believe that is the most important factor. To win, you must be visible. Winning means everything. It is everything. People are champions when they truly perceive themselves as limitless, which is fantastic because seeing oneself in that light makes you much more willing to work hard. You are far more likely to break obstacles than others, since they do not imagine themselves breaking those barriers. And this young man, Kovic, is 19 years old and playing Roger for the first time in a Grand Slam. He's a nobody. When Novak Djokovic joined Roger was winning everything. It's difficult to win a Grand Slam with those two players. You can't beat them, simply put. They outperform everyone else. And he's interviewed before the match, and he says, I'm going to beat this guy. And as I recall, the press was extremely critical of him. Who does he believe he is? But he saw him there, he saw himself there. He felt himself as superior to them, which some may have interpreted as arrogance. But he was so sure in his ability that he ended up being the best of the three. He broke every record. He outperformed them on every level because his self-esteem was so high. His self-esteem, the way he perceived himself, that's how I tell whether someone is a champion. A lot of people fake it, which is better than not faking it, but it's not as good as truly believing it. And talking to the young players about it, they will say, I want to be one. I mean, they wish, the ones who truly want to. because they are just saying it. But they are putting in the effort, which makes a significant difference, because it is a lot easier when you truly believe you can do it. Working hard is never easy, but you're willing to do anything to get there when you want it, even if you just do things partially or not at all. So that's a significant difference. But when you look at the route to victory, people look at you and say, you're a success, but your journey is far from over. These stages are limitless. You get to see them sometimes, but not always. They occasionally appear, sometimes they're shaky. You don't know if the next step will be there, but you have enough faith in yourself to say, I know it is, I am going to take that step. I may miss the step, I may fall, I might get scraped, that step may lead to a brief stand, but I know there is another step. I know it, I have an inner belief that there is another stage ahead. The number of steps I have to do that no one is forcing me to take is unlimited. Winning is unlimited. These stages are limitless. Of course, if you have a high self-esteem like huge champions, legends like Serena or Venus, and I had this conversation with Richard Williams, their father, and he told me that my main goal was to build two young ladies who believed in themselves. In general, he told me, and I believe it, that whatever they did would have been effective. We selected tennis, but if they had wanted to be runners or singers, they would have succeeded because they have such high self-esteem. And you'll see that whatever they do after tennis, they'll succeed. I guess I believed in myself from the beginning. Everything appeared so real to me. I'd already secured sponsorships. I was already winning events. And I watched the pros making a good income from what they did. And I just thought, God, if I could just get to that point, I think I could earn a little money from this. Why would you put up such extraordinary efforts and strive so hard for something in which you have little faith? Why put yourself at danger of failure if you don't clearly think that in the end you'll succeed? I'm not claiming that people never fail. Of course they fail. And Serena has failed several times in tennis. But we remember what she accomplished, which was much greater. Serena Williams is a legendary athlete. I never imagined I will lose. I simply don't want anyone to think I'm arrogant or anything, and you're only as good as your last victory. So I loathe losing. That's not a secret. So you have to lose. I feel like every time I lose, I improve. And I think it's vital for me to experience losses. The fewer the better. I believe that many people see you running and think, oh, that looks so easy. It appears to be completely effortless. But it's difficult. Until then, it feels like hard effort. Every day we make sacrifice. You understand that confidence comes from preparation, right? So when the game is on the line, I'm not expecting myself to accomplish something I haven't done hundreds of times before. When I'm prepared, I know my capabilities of doing. I know what I'm comfortable doing and what I'm not comfortable doing with you. So if it appears that I am calm or unconcerned in those instances, it is because I have done it thousands of times before. So once more time, no, I have never felt terrified. You're definitely nervous. However, fear indicates a lack of confidence in one's skills. I am very confident in my abilities, so I am not afraid. If you set your mind to doing something, amazing things will come. That shot made me believe that I was capable of surpassing others. And what others think of me can, outperform whatever expectations I may have for myself. Start by doing something new every day. If you only pay attention to the details, you pay close attention to details, these disparities are clear to see. Everyone talks about working hard, showing up early, late, and doing everything. That is something everyone can accomplish. That is something everyone can accomplish. It's the mannerisms with which they carry themselves. It is the way they compete, listen, absorb information, and are coachable. The same thing applies to all of my athletes. In business and athletics, the greatest of the best are extremely coachable. They pay attention. They pay attention. They absorb the information. They pay attention. They are there. Of course, you want to win, but that is not the goal. Winning is the consequence. The question is, what should I focus on? I concentrate exclusively on what I can manage. Winning. You can't control everything, but there are plenty of things you can. Lots of things happen. A lot of emotions come in. A lot of thoughts arise, and you must take them away. And the only way to get rid of them is to talk to yourself in a positive manner. However, you must make efforts every day in order to win those tiny successes and establish yourself as a person capable of achieving his dreams. I have not gone through life without making mistakes. I've made several mistakes, both in and out of the water. And, I've been able to learn from each of those mistakes, and I've been able to help others avoid making the same mistakes that I did. So just keep going. You're doing the proper thing.